it's for your bride. Who gives a shit? It's for Sherry. So do it, you dick.
Welcome to Cue the Mic. I'm Darren Worth.
And I'm Randy Twyford.
And I'm Emma Dirklinger, and this is episode 48.
That was pretty good, Randy. I thought you were going to do a little Rico Suave there entrance on.
I could have Rico Suave throw that in there, but you
didn't.
A lot of people listen to this probably in the morning and didn't want them to get sick or anything. So
yeah, we still have to do the whole episode, so I don't want to.
Yeah,
be one of those people.
St. Patrick's Day. St. Patrick's Day. We made an emergency flight to Florida last night. Had a real emergency. Sick of being in Des Moines. No, Sherry.
I don't know why.
Have you ever thought about working for the Chamber of Commerce?
Sherry escaped jury duty for the fourth time, and she's like, and she hasn't been down here in a month or so, and she's like, we got to go to Florida. I said, okay, well, you'll call in at 5 o'clock, and if you don't get called in at 5:05, we'll book flights. And so I had the flights all lined out, and so we drove to Cedar Rapids last night and had
you didn't even fly to Des Moines?
hour-long delay. Well, Des Moines, you can't fly out till Sunday, and we couldn't wait till Sunday. But actually, we it worked out really good. Of course, like always, we leave for the airport and we get down the road about a half hour, and then we get a thing that our flight's been delayed an hour. And we're like, okay, fine. Well, Iowa State was playing at 5, so it was great. We just went to the airport, sat and had dinner and a nice cold iced tea, and watched the Cyclones just pummel Houston.
Yeah, they did.
A relaxing,
Big 12 championship
relaxing.
Game.
Sounds very relaxing.
It was just great timing because as soon as the game ended, it wasn't 10 seconds later, they called for our flight to board. And
really?
The funny thing on our flight, I haven't seen this in years. There was only 50 people on the flight.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Out of 200, there was only 50. They pretty much said, just sit wherever you want. And I said, well, I want to sit in this front seat. And the stewardesses said, you
flight
sure?
Attendant, thank you.
I said, well, flight attendant. What did I say? Flight?
You said stewardess.
Did I say? Oh, sorry. Flight attendant. Sorry. They were girls. Anyway.
I'm kind of watching that kind of stuff now.
I said I wanted to I said, well, can I move up here and sit in this front seat? And she's like, well, normally when we're not busy, that's where we sit. I'm like, oh, no big trouble. No big deal. I'll just sit in my own seat. And they're like, we're having this conversation from 8 feet away. So everybody on the plane, I said, no, it's no big deal. Whatever. I said, just stick me here. I'll just sit next to my wife. Don't worry about it. I'll just sit next to my wife. And we're just jostling each other back and forth. It was fun. I let them sit in their seat, and I sat next to my bride. Actually, Sherry says, I think I'm having a beer. And I'm like, whoa. So I ordered they got half bottles of wine. I had a half bottle of Cabernet.
Oh, yeah.
You didn't get romantic on
That's
the
the good
flight.
stuff.
Having a few beers and drinking wine and turn the lights down.
I could have had the Mile High Club.
There you go.
About doing the Mile High Club with the stewardess.
I'm going to throw up.
Oh, well, never mind.
I'm going to actually throw up.
Flight attendant.
I meant the flight attendant, sorry.
Flight attendant, exactly.
Let me tell you about a review that I got yesterday. This is the way the world is. Okay? Old Dustin Morris. I'll call him by name because I'm going to reply back to him as Karen. Leaves a 1-star review yesterday for the Smokey D's concept. I definitely feel you all need to get rid of the line to cashier concept. I'm not standing in line like I'm at Disneyland for smoked meats. Not only did my family of 6 walk out because of this, but 2 others before us did as well. Sorry to take our tourist dollars somewhere else. 1 star. Now,
Okay.
okay, we're an order at the counter place. We're a very, very successful order at the counter place. And, I looked through yesterday, we had 973 families come through, or 973 different tickets. So we probably fed close to 2,000 people yesterday.
Yeah.
Sorry, Dustin. I didn't miss you. I'm going to be this is one of those that he's going to get a reply. And I'm like, oh, thanks for making yourself look stupid, Karen. It's like, where did you go? Did you go up the street to Jethro's and pay twice as much so that you could have a fine dining experience with your kids?
And probably stand in line. Because that's a set
Or
down.
it'll probably be something like, oh, didn't you see the button on the wall where you push the button and, then we take you to your private dining room with server? I'll think of some smart-ass remark to reply to him. But I'm like, shit like that just drives me, because it's a thing of, he didn't talk about the food, and sometimes you get one-star reviews, right? But he didn't talk about the food. He just talked about what he wanted my concept to be, not what it was. So he didn't grade me for what I am. He graded me for what I want to be. And this happens all the time, but, it still sits out there on Google as a one-star review.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and do I really give a shit? No. Because most of the time you get 5-star reviews, and we still get 4.6, 4.7. Except for the Yelp crew, everybody gets a little less on the Yelp crew, because if you're not a hipster place, you're not getting 5 stars on Yelp. I'm a strong believer of that.
Well, that was kind of like one of my customers at one of the hospitals we go to. She's like, could you do a smaller menu or a modified menu so people could get through the line faster, so they don't have to stand in line? And I'm like, when it hits 11 o'clock and they could go get their lunch, you throw 50 people out there all at once, you're going to have a line. And that's probably what happened to this cat. He came during lunch hour, and I assume Saturdays you guys are busy all day. You probably got a line most of the day, because you can't physically get that many people through.
Right.
But yet, people hate to stand in line and stuff. So, and that's what I told her. I said, when a bunch of people come out at noon hour and stuff, and we're typically just going from 11 to 1:30. If it's a very big venue, we're going to have a line, and stuff. But we get through them they don't stand in line very goddamn long. They're in and out,
Well, right. Ours is the same way. They move, and a lot of times people will grab them. They're like, I'm not waiting in this line. Oh, don't worry, it moves fast, because it does move fast. Average wait time on our line, even if the line's got 30 people in it, you're probably going to wait 5 minutes. Right. You're moving. But the beauty is you're going to have your food in 5 or 6, 7 minutes. Even when we're crazy busy, you're going to have your food in 10 minutes. So by the time you can go pack up the family in the car and drive somewhere else, you would have had your food. But
exactly.
You're too stupid to maybe I'm going to reply back and say, Karen, I'm giving you a 1-star as a reviewer, because you didn't mention anything about the food or customer service or anything. I think I'll give him that. But you never gave it a chance. I hope and P.S., I hope you paid 3 times as much that you could have your tourist customer service experience.
Well, here's the thing. Now, you know better about this than I do. If somebody, from the time they hit your front door to the time they get their food on their table, how long would you say it'd be?
5 minutes at lunch. Well, 5 minutes. Even when we're busy, on a Saturday, it may take from the time they walk in the front door till the time they have their food, I'm going to guess 12 to 15 minutes.
I was going to say, It definitely depends on the...
So then if you go to a sit-down restaurant where you don't have to stand in line to place your order, by the time you hit the door...
Your drink in 7 minutes.
Yeah,
that's what
Service isn't necessarily...
10 minutes... It'd take you 10 minutes to get the waitress's attention off her goddamn phone watching TikToks to get over there to take your order of drinks.
You're exactly right. So that's my point. In time-wise, he's got that long at your place, but then if he goes to, what the hell is the name? Baby back ribs,
Chili's?
Applebee's,
Chili's?
Chili's or Applebee's. So by the time he hits their door, stands in line to gets a seat, and then gets around to drinks because they won't take the food unless you get on their ass about it and tell them you want your food ordered when you get your drink. When you order your drinks, they're gonna bring your drinks, and then that. So how long would it be till they got their meal on their table? You know, a hell of a lot less at your place than there. So.
Yeah, people are just threatened by the line. People see a line, they think long time, but in reality, yeah, just because you're at a table doesn't mean your services, or just because you get sent to a table immediately doesn't mean your service is going to be faster.
Right,
Exactly.
because we even put a person up there up front when we're really busy now to greet people and say, hey, when you're right here. And sometimes they tell too much of the truth, but hey, we're about 7 minutes on the line right now. And I'm like, don't tell them 7 minutes. Just tell them the line moves fast. Watch, the line moves fast. Your food comes out even faster.
Yeah, like the fact that's the thing too, is that he didn't give it a chance. The amount of time he spends in line is going to be the longest part of his experience. And it's not even that long. Like the wait from the second he hits the table and he gets his food is going to be minutes, if even.
And he had 4 kids. Who wants to go to a sit-down restaurant? I mean, who really wants? I mean, with us 4 kids, you're going to have. What's the first thing you want to do with a kid? You want to get food in their mouth so they'll shut up and quit going, "Where's my food?" Right? You get food in the kid's mouth right away, right? And, I mean, it's like when we go out with the grandkids, love them to death. But we're not going somewhere that's going to take 2-hour dining experience. I want something that gets, can you bring the mac and cheese out right now? Or we go to this restaurant, the Hilltop, once in a while with them. It's a pizza restaurant. We know it's going to take long. Hey, can we have some soda crackers over here to stuff in their mouth to shut them up and keep them full? That's ultimately, that's what you want.
As, one of 4, I hope that's not what my parents were doing. I hope they just wanted to spend time with us.
No.
Really?
No, Emma.
No.
That was not it.
Sorry to bust your bubble, but no, not really.
We got the kids coming down here in April for a week into Florida, and Sherry's like, I said, yeah, we better fly down the day before, but we better stay 3 or 4 days after. Well, what for? And I said, to recover. I mean, Haley was the best kid in the world growing up, man. But I mean, you get the kids come over a couple of times a week. Normally, we spend 2 or 3 for 2 hours, right? They're there for 2 hours. And you talk about, I'd rather juggle 15 restaurants than try and keep 2 kids occupied for 2 hours.
I think that's just their age.
It's mentally draining.
I think
it is. I love them to death. They're so much fun, and Griffin's so fun to cook with. But it's like the constant with him. It's the rapid fire question. What are we doing this, Papa? Why am I cracking this egg? Where are the flowers? Where's this?
He's in that age.
I mean, it's just, it's crazy. So anyway. So Randy,
you got Karen taken care of.
Got Karen taken care of. Yeah, thanks, Karen. I'm going to reply to Karen. It's going to be a good one, and then I'll probably take that reply and post it out on social media and say, "Don't be a Karen." Just for fun of it. I'll do it over the weekend, so my social media gals don't go, "Oh no,
what the fuck?"
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm sure they'll love that.
I guarantee you. As soon as she sees this review, I know she's going to go, oh, I don't have to respond to this one being nice because Darren's going to have it done.
Yeah.
Funny.
I don't miss those days at all.
St. Patrick's Day today. Of course, I'm not sure why St. Patrick's Day is today because it seems like everybody celebrated yesterday.
Yeah.
So they could be hungover today. And so because normally at the restaurant, we're not super busy on St. Patrick's Day because we're not Irish and everybody's at the Irish bars and whatever. But all those events were yesterday. So I said, you guys might want to prepare for a big day because everybody's going to be hungover and need comfort food.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
And they're still going to want their corned beef and cabbage. So, Randy, you had a big event, and was it in Springfield or Jacksonville yesterday?
Yeah, it was in Springfield. It was the downtown Springfield St. Patrick's Day parade. Huge.
Yeah, how'd that go?
Huge. It went really well. We had the manpower there for it. We had the truck as full, possibly, as food and stuff ready to go. Not bragging on myself, but I will. We kind of had our shit together on this one, you know.
Nice.
And
you're getting good at that.
Yeah.
Huh?
You're getting good at that.
And so we kind of had it together. We came out with a new menu item. We called it the Walking Cup of Gold. And Darren and I had talked about it last week, and it was a gold solo cup, 18-ounce gold solo cup. I had green, so if anybody wants any green cups, I got a fuckload of them I need to get rid of. So then I decided to go to gold, since we call it the Walking Gold, the Cup of Gold. But we put fried potatoes in the bottom.
Not like the Lucky Leprechaun that I originally
had
you.
I like pot of gold.
Do the Lucky Leprechaun and get some green cups. So
no, of
pot
course,
of gold sounds better.
Just typical. About Wednesday, we shifted gears on that. Which is
fried potatoes in there.
Fried potatoes in the bottom of them, and then corned beef, and then coleslaw with Thousand Island dressing on top. Went over like a hit. We sold more than what I thought we would.
You know, Randy, I was talking to a friend yesterday. He was calling asking about pork strami, right? Old Derek up and from Shigan and Grin, and he called and he wanted a little advice because he was brining some pork, and he was going to a bar today, and they were doing pork strami sandwiches, right? And I'm like, I just love pork strami sandwiches. So anyway, he had the idea, and I thought it was brilliant, that they were making a sandwich today that was just pork strami on a bun they made coleslaw, but they made the coleslaw with the Russian dressing. So instead of the drizzle on top, they made the coleslaw that was actually the Thousand Island coleslaw.
Yeah, and
I thought that was a pretty brilliant move.
Yeah,
that sounds good.
That way you've got the flavor all mixed into you, and less stuff to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, that does sound good.
So tell me, how did you do your fried potatoes?
We actually fried them in the fryer on the truck. The potato cubes that we use
fried them in the truck. Okay.
The potato cubes that we use on our cheesy potatoes, we just used those and fried them, and then seasoned them with rub, and kind of held them like you would French fries or tortilla chips. And then just fed them into
how many you think you went through? How many you think you went through?
How many we sold?
How many you think you sold?
I'd say we sold between 55 and 60 of them.
Yeah, that's good.
And that's for some, and you know, people dogmouth Facebook, Instagram, it's bullshit. You can't sell anything on it. That was the only marketing we did. And I did a couple videos on it and stuff like that. So we hit social media pretty hard with it, and it paid off. But
nice.
It was a big event.
We talked about that. We talked about how effective that is for you. I think you're super lucky that you can get that influence that a lot of your followers, not a lot, but you know, your followers are close, that it really affects your sales. I still a strong believer that I don't think ours makes a damn bit of difference, maybe one or two here, but it's like, because our followers, you know, being on Triple D and stuff is so much broader.
Right.
I'm just not sure we get the bang for the buck, like the instant, I'll call it the instant gratification from marketing that you get. Right.
Well,
that seems fair.
It kind of amazes me, and every time that we'll think, well, we're not getting what we should from it. We'll have something come up. Just like when I had those ribs left over from some event last winter, during the winter. I mean, they were gone within 5 minutes. And the only place they were advertised was on Facebook and Instagram. And
false scarcity.
And then just like this, I mean, just social media and stuff. And so we got some corned beef left over. So I'm thinking about on a few of the vending events we got coming up. We may do those for the vending events. See if people want them.
Yeah, or do you could do the Reuben egg roll. I know Emma said you had a comment. People wanted to know more about the Reuben egg roll.
Yeah, we did have one about that.
I think there's multiple ways. I had a super good one. Old Wag's Backyard Barbecue. He was at that barbecue bash last weekend, and that's what he was doing. He was doing a Reuben egg roll. And his had corned beef and Swiss cheese and cream cheese in there, cabbage and whatever. And it was very. I didn't know it, and then I ate the whole thing. I'm like, damn, that's good. And then I looked and said, oh shit, a guy with lactose intolerant probably shouldn't have just ate that. And about 2 hours later, it was gut bomb. But
oh boy.
But it was really good. But I think just the simple elements. I'm not sure you throw sauerkraut in the egg roll just because a lot of people don't like it. But
I would do one with the sauerkraut.
I think you could very easily do the corned beef shredded up or cubed up small, and cabbage and some Swiss cheese cubed up maybe, or shredded in there, and then some of the sauce in there, or maybe you mix the cabbage and make your cabbage and Russian dressing or Thousand Island, whatever.
And do an egg roll out of it.
Just put that all in a bowl and mix it and put it in an egg roll and fry the crap out of them. I'm kind of planning on doing that next week, hopefully. Have you?
That sounds delicious.
Yeah, back years ago we did some, and they were really good. They were damn good, and then used Thousand Island dressing for the kind of the dipping sauce you'd per se.
Yeah.
And and then the only you got to go someplace and find the egg roll papers for them. So which is easy enough to get. I think even Walmart has them. So
yeah, I wanted to do it for this week. For today, I wanted to do Reuben egg rolls at the restaurant, but we couldn't quite figure out how do we keep them separate from when they're in the fryer, because we're so high volume that, we may be throwing up 3 or 4 orders of barbecue egg rolls at a time. Do we have to make them a different shape? Do we have to make them white? And then we just aborted mission. Because
what's your barbecue egg roll? What's your barbecue egg roll?
The barbecue egg roll is, so we take up cabbage, or we take our coleslaw mix, and then we also chop up onions and red bell peppers, and we mix that into kind of a finely diced slaw, and then we mix really a vinegar barbecue sauce to it. We don't mix something like Tennessee Red, but we don't just do Tennessee Red.
Right.
But we mix a vinegar, and then we mix pulled pork into it.
Really?
And then we sell the shit out of them.
Now, do you chop that pulled pork? I'm going to guess.
Yeah. We dice it fine.
Okay.
We dice it fine so it doesn't get stringy. So we want a good bite. We want kind of pork in every bite.
Right. Right.
And cabbage. So we dice it fine. Then we mix that all together, and then we have some of the best egg rollers in the business. I mean, I have videos of how to roll egg rolls, and we go through. I don't know. Every morning I watch them. They prep them every morning. They're probably going to 2 to 3 pans full. So I'm going to guess there's probably 30. We probably go through 100 egg rolls a day. I'm guessing 4 to an order, probably more on the weekends, but because I usually don't see it on the weekend because I'm usually gallivanting around somewhere.
You're right. Interesting.
But
interesting.
Yeah, different ways. I mean, I'd like to run the pork strami. It's hard. I was talking to my GM yesterday about that. It's just super hard when you're big to get change. It's hard to put like the walking pot of gold on the menu
Right.
Because you got at least 20 people that need to be knowing how to make it, because 20 people could be making it. We rotate staff in and out so much, from prep to the line, to the front, to the line. We're very good at utilizing our payroll. Thanks to Randy. Randy, our GM, we do a great job of her and the staff of rotating staff through, that we have a lot smaller but very, very productive staff. So in essence, everybody needs to know. The cashiers, you may have 8 or 10 people hit a cashier spot. Well, they all have to know what's in it, how to describe it, what's going on. And so a lot of times, if you just want to do that one-time pop-up special, I'm just making 25 orders of this, by the time you get through all that, you're like, fuck, that's not even worth it.
Right. For me, but we got in the truck yesterday morning, and I'm like, somebody asked, he said, how do you want to do these cups of gold? And I'm like, all of us were standing there, and like, boom, boom, I got one, and I said, do this much corned beef, do this much coleslaw, make sure it's coned up at the top so you see it, and drizzle the Thousand Island on it and stuff, and we were ready to go. And I put that in on toast that morning. So we got it on the register, and we put it on our dry erase board outside. So,
yeah. It's I love I always tell you that I'm always jealous of you're able to change speeds on things like that.
Yeah.
For us, it becomes like McDonald's putting a new menu item on, and I'd like to, if I could improve one thing, it would be how do we do that? Do I just need to put out a bulletin? That I print out a bulletin, hey, here's what we're doing, here's how it's made, just a one-sheet piece of paper. When you walk in the door, I hand it to you. Hey, read this. Here's the price on it. Here's what we're doing. Here's how it's served. Maybe I just need to do that quick cut sheet.
Yeah.
Well, but still, I
would think that's all it would take.
Well, I still think to have it done the way you want it done, right, you still have to have some face-to-face time explaining it.
Yeah, but maybe with only like a handful of people.
Okay.
Right. And then they can kind of guide the rest of the team, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to dissemble. So you did the potatoes, and then you did the corned beef in the middle.
Correct.
And then the coleslaw.
Correct.
I like that from a standpoint of you don't eat all your corned beef before everything's done. I'm not sure, but then
wouldn't the coleslaw kind of make everything cold?
No, it's going right out the door.
Oh, well, yeah, but I mean, if you're walking around with it,
yeah,
they were liquored up enough.
But, I mean, you're not going to put sauerkraut on it. I was just trying to think if I wanted the coleslaw in the middle or if I wanted the coleslaw on top. But because your star of the show is your corned beef, and you kind of hide it, and I don't know.
And I didn't like that either, but yet I got to thinking, people just to get down to the potatoes and the coleslaw, you're going to go through all your corned beef, And I wanted to make it so when they stuck a fork down through there, they got the whole taste. They could take the fork down there, grab a potato, and on the way out, grab some corned beef and some coleslaw. Yeah, and it's kind of cool watching people walking around, because nobody else had gold cups for anything, and seeing people walk around with gold cups. Because
everything's green.
And I was like, there goes one of ours.
That's
a smart move.
That's really good. Yeah, maybe you could have done like we do our jarfays. So you make these jarfays and you put this cheesecake and brownie in the middle. And when you open the lid to the jarfay, we always put a couple little pieces of the cheesecake or a couple little pieces of the brownie on top.
Right.
So it's like that little toy surprise when they open it up. I suppose you could have put just a little bit of sprinkle of corned beef, but I guess then the haters would have went, that's all the corned beef I get.
Yeah, that's a tricky one.
But there was sure a lot of people there. I mean, and you're talking about the Michelob, the Bud Light and the Michelob Ultra. I mean, I don't know how many people. I honestly, and I was taking orders, so I had people right up there in the window, and they had the beer with them. How many people you would see with Michelob Ultra? I really don't even remember seeing any Bud Light cans, because the streets were full of trash and shit. because they didn't have trash cans. And so people were throwing them on, putting trash on top of stuff. And then it got real windy in the afternoon, like probably 30-mile-an-hour winds.
They didn't have trash cans?
No. Just a little bitty trash can tied to the corner. That was it. And so, and whereas there was actually 4 food trucks. One of them did popcorn. The other the guy from across from me does lemonades and corn dogs, and he was busier than hell. And he always is.
Yeah.
And
not that I want more when I'm drunk than a corn dog.
But now I didn't see very many of the the fried dough in a pan in a fryer. What the hell's the name of it? And
funnel cake.
You see him at the funnel cakes. Cake? He does. Wait. He has 30 different flavors of funnel cakes, and
oh my gosh.
I didn't see any. It's just one funnel cake and different toppings on them.
Right.
You know? And I didn't see many funnel cakes, but I saw the corn dogs, as you said, Emma, were flying out of there. So
nothing tops a corn dog.
You just gave me an idea for a chicken sandwich. We've got a bunch of, well, not a bunch, but we got 2 or 3 chicken sandwiches and 2 or 3 mac and cheeses. We're getting ready to roll out.
What are they?
But you gave me an idea that I could take a little, make a funnel cake bun, if you will. Just take the funnel cake, pour it in the fryer.
Save it for the state fair.
That's what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
I'm going to make the funnel cake chicken sandwich for the state fair. Need to write that down.
And you could just call it the state fair.
And just do the regular chicken sandwich, but instead of a bun, do it on a funnel cake deal.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So
what other toppings did you put on it?
That's part of. I don't know.
Because like a funnel, would you put cheese on that?
Oh, I think you do. I think the cheese adds your creaminess.
Ask our listeners. Have our listeners make.
Yeah, what do you guys think? What would you put on a funnel cake chicken sandwich?
On a funnel cake chicken sandwich? Would you
leave a comment below?
Would you put 2
or send us a DM.
A top and a bottom of funnel cakes on that?
Or would it be an open face sandwich?
Or I think you put top and bottom. I think
that'd be a lot of funnel cake.
Yeah, that would be a lot of funnel cake. And would you sprinkle with the powdered sugar on top?
Well,
You'd have to.
We're only going to make the funnel cake. We're going to only make the funnel cake like 3.5 inches round.
Right.
Yeah, so that way the chicken sandwich. So it might be a thick sandwich.
Right.
But I still think it's going to be a damn.
It's going to be heavy.
Sandwich.
You still got to put the
talk about a food
powdered sugar on top.
Good Lord.
Put the powdered sugar on top.
That has to be the garnish.
The only problem I have with that, and that's the reason I don't get a funnel cake with powdered sugar, and I'll probably get the frosting on it or whatever instead. What do you call that? The glaze. Because God dang, you just make a mess. You wear that
shit goes everywhere.
Who cares? Half the fun.
Everywhere. So anyway,
one trend
speaking.
You look like you're a cocaine addict after you ate one of those. You got white powder.
You guys seen that trend on TikTok?
Which one?
What's that?
The powdered sugar one, where people are like, "Who ate my powdered donuts?"
Oh,
and there's a group of them, and they go in a line, and they're like, "Not me, not me," and then the last person just is covered in powdered sugar, and they're like, "Who ate the powdered sugar donuts?" And it's clearly them, but they're like, "Somebody better fess up right now." They're just stupid little funny things.
Emma, obviously, you haven't watched all of our TikTok videos.
Did you do one?
We've got it.
I don't watch.
Yeah, we did one. With
I don't even think I follow you on TikTok. I'm not gonna lie. See, now that's good.
That hurt.
It's like the peanut butter baby way back when.
We did one with barbecue sauce where they were looking in the refrigerator, in the cabinet, under the breakfast bar, looking, and then who the hell took who ate all the barbecue sauce? Took all the barbecue sauce, and then one of the guys is standing there. And it's just plastered all over his face. Not all over his top, but over his face. And he's just like...
That's the kind of marketing I wanted Darren to do, and he would never do it.
Now,
that's funny.
It hasn't gone viral or anything like that, but it was
that's
pretty
all right.
funny. It was pretty funny.
In the day. Yeah. So anyway, speaking of, we talked about chicken sandwiches and mac and cheese. So we've got some things coming up, and I guess as a podcast listener, you get the first peek We're still trying to name these things, and maybe people can help us with this naming. I've sent it off to the naming committee. I think she's out laying by the pool right now. But
I was gonna say she comes up with the best names.
Right. So in essence, and I'm not a big fan, but we're going to do like somewhat of a cowboy chicken sandwich, very simple, just very American cheese, barbecue sauce, and onion tanglers, bacon type thing. Just kind of
okay.
It's very generic, but everybody has it, so we're doing it. We've got a chicken sandwich they're going to come out that I call when I first called it, I called it the All-American. But it's a chicken sandwich with cheddar cheese, bacon, and apple pie filling on it. Right? Because there's nothing better than fried chicken and apple pie.
What'd you call it?
Temporarily, I've named it the All-American, but
I think
it needs to probably find a different name.
Yeah, I don't hate that name.
No, I like it with apple pie filling on it and stuff.
Yeah, makes me think of the American Pie movies.
And really what I was doing was I was just sitting in the kitchen going around trying to figure out how do I make sandwiches. As a restaurateur, you always want to figure out how can I use the same ingredients, so I go through them faster. And I happened to look over, and they were making a quiche's biscuit, which is a homemade. We bake our own homemade biscuits and put apple pie filling on top of them. And we modify. We buy an apple pie filling, but we modify it, put more sugar and cinnamon and vanilla and all kinds of stuff in it. And I'm like, let's run that through the Robocoup, so it's not big slice of apple, and kind of not pulverize it, but so you got little cubes of apple.
Right.
And they're like, you're going to put that on a chicken sandwich? I said, yeah, I think it's going to taste good. I think the sweetness or whatever, holy shit, it was good. I mean, they're like, holy crap. Just the sweetness of that, along with the bacon and the different textures, it just was a really good. So anyway, that one's coming out. One of the ones that we're saving off for Cinco de Mayo, because we're actually scheduled out now till the first week in May on sandwich releases, which is crazy.
Yeah.
But that's actually absurd.
A nacho. Yeah, I know. I'm trying to get better at it. But we're doing a nacho chicken sandwich. And so what we've done is we're taking, and I guess putting it out here, everybody will have one. Shit, Arby's probably listen to this bitch and they'll have one. But we're taking homemade. Not homemade, but we take where our nacho chips are fried from. We have flour nacho chips that get fried up for our nachos. We pulverized that, and we breaded the chicken sandwich actually in the raw nacho chips, right?
Right.
And then fried it. And so then you have this outside nacho exterior of the chicken, so it's like a crispy nacho chip. And then we covered it with our queso, pico de gallo, and some jalapenos. And so that's not your chicken sandwich. That's
nacho chicken.
Nacho chicken sandwich.
Nacho chicken sandwich.
Are you going to do like
nachos? Is that being racist?
No.
Okay. Good.
Buenos dias, ¿cómo está?
I don't know if Randy's the best person to ask that question to.
What the hell do you mean by that?
You thought adversity was diversity.
I've had more diversity training than probably, well, not Darren, because he was in the corporate world too. So, God, could you imagine all the diversity training they have to go through these days?
We never had to once, ever. I never went to any because diversity was something that happened. It wasn't a focus group. I mean, back then, it's like, yeah, you don't call certain things. You just grew up that way, right?
Right.
It's not nice to call somebody that, right? Well, that got changed around that shit. You wouldn't want to say anything.
Well, still all the videos you'd have to sit and watch, and about, well, here comes Jim. He's this. And here's Jim, and you can't say this to Jim,
Right. So anyway, we got those chicken sandwiches going. We're always open to more ideas. I thought about doing just a pop-up one for today with corned beef and cabbage and whatever, but we didn't. We just ran out of time on that one. But
okay, so you need a name? So we need people to leave a comment for the name for the cowboy chicken one. right?
Yeah, because
that's the one you need help
naming.
That
one's going live next week, so I need to know.
Oh.
We're introducing that like tomorrow.
Oh, so by the time this comes out, it won't even matter.
So it's pretty well the cowboy
Otherwise,
chicken.
it's going to be I guess it's going to be a cowboy chicken sandwich.
You ought to get a little chicken with it wearing a little cowboy hat.
I'll brainstorm the rest of this episode. That'd be,
or maybe
that would be clever.
Maybe we'll call it the goat roper chicken. Kind of a fake cowboy.
Yeah.
Goat roper.
Oh. If you do the goat roper, then you're still going to have to get a chicken and put a little cowboy hat on him. There's pictures out there of it, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, Haley's a pretty talented graphic designer. She could probably do that.
Yeah.
And then over on the Crafty Mac side, not quite as popular, but people have been asking for a jalapeno popper mac. So we took did our cheddar cheese sauce, mixed it with the noodles with shredded cheddar, but then we put cubes of cream cheese in there.
Yeah.
And then diced jalapenos, very fine diced jalapenos in the mac, and then covered it and some bacon, and then covered it with diced jalapenos and bacon on the top. With I can't remember what drizzle we're doing. You gotta do a drizzle, but some sort of drizzle on the top to make it taste like a jalapeno popper. I tested that one. It was really good.
Pretty good. Tastes
like
one.
I was in the bathroom an hour later too because it had all the cream cheese in there. Different story. And then we're kind of a little piggy mac, just trying to do diced ham with chopped pork and bacon and kind of mix those three together with cheese. And
that's clever.
Yeah, that's a nice one.
Barbecue sauce. Sometimes you don't have to be super fancy. Sometimes you just got to give people what they want to eat, and just the saltiness of the ham and different textures. So you get a crispy bacon, but you get a cubed ham that we'll take our smoked ham that we make at the barbecue restaurant, and then we pull the pork. So we'll kind of have pulled pork and diced ham and chopped bacon up, whatever. Try to get some different textures going on there.
Huh. Sounds like you got a lot of stuff going on.
Well, we're just trying to get that going. Just trying to, the ornery chicken is really, this week was a little slow, and then all of a sudden at the end of the week, it just exploded.
And that's all just a carry out, right?
Curbside pickup or DoorDash.
Okay, that's all you do on the ornery chicken.
And the Crafty Mac. So we're trying to get the Crafty Mac up. I'm and I've talked about this probably for a year, but I'm super big into rice bowls, and I was doing rice bowls again this week. Where hey, what?
I told you about those.
Yeah,
those are my
thing. I said, been about a year.
Yeah,
right?
I love those. I still make them regularly.
I'm going to name it Emma's Rice Bowls.
Oh my gosh, would you?
So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to introduce them
and just eat it
at the Ornery Chicken. So I'm going to make chicken-based rice bowls to see how they go.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
And then move them over and then rename the Crafty Mac and Bowls. Right?
Oh, okay.
Would you do you have to do a complete would you have to do a complete rebrand and just that question didn't come out of my brain right. Would you have to keep the Mac, or could you just change the brand to just Crafty Bowls or something?
Do
you think the Crafty Mac has established enough? Okay.
But I was just thinking Crafty Mac, and then we just take the logo and put plus bowls down there. So this week I played around with, I made a simple Spanish rice. Okay. So I didn't go all out with onion and garlic and whatever. I just pretty much Instapot rice, but I did, chicken stock with tomato bouillon mixed in. That's how I make my authentic. Normally I put a can of Rotel in. I left it out this time, but because I wanted the rice to be somewhat neutral. Not gender neutral. I wanted it just to be neutral.
Oh, yeah.
So I did neutral. I did black beans, and then I made homemade chorizo and cooked that together with some chicken tenders I cut up and made some choripolo. And so I had the black beans. I had that. I put fresh pico de gallo on the top because we make our own fresh pico. And then, of course, the sauce drizzle is always, Randy says avocado crema. I was trying to figure out chipotle aioli or crema whether I need spice in there or not. The chorizo brings a lot of bang for it. So I thought we could do that kind of a burrito bowl type thing, easy enough to do. And then we would do I'm going to start playing around with some teriyaki bowls where you're going to have the rice and some sort of chicken teriyaki type stuff. Figure out the beans, or instead of beans, maybe I'm putting broccoli and carrots, steamed broccoli and carrots with that bowl instead of the beans. And I would just do that with a white rice and then the drizzle on the top.
I think leaving it Crafty Mac and bowls. I really like that, because then you're not going to lose your followers of the Crafty Mac, because they're going to say,
"See,
it's gone."
I don't think you'd lose your. Well, no, I don't think you'd lose your followers of the Crafty Mac if you just explain, like, "Hey, we still do mac and cheese. It's not like we're not doing mac and cheese."
No reason to re-educate them when you already got them educated.
Yeah, I mean, but the other part of it is. When you look up, if people see the mac, I mean, I know the biggest problem with that concept is people don't see mac and cheese as a meal, right?
Yeah.
It's not a meal, and I think that's why some of
not for like an adult. I feel like
but I think that's why some of the mac and cheese franchises, what they do is they serve it with a couple pieces of bread, and to me that makes it think that they do a couple pieces of like Toast Points or Crostinis or something.
Right.
And so they do that and serve that along. So now all of a sudden, now there's bread. So now it's not just a side dish anymore. There's two elements.
Hey, I got a question. Let's circle back, corporate term. Circle back to the chicken sandwiches. Are you going to serve them in your restaurant or just at the Ornery Chicken?
Well, so I'm going to serve it at the Ornery Chicken, but here's what we're trying to do. We're trying to find the space to put, because space is always at a premium. I think we've got it, where we're going to put a breading station in for a chicken sandwich. So that what we're going to do is one day a week, we're thinking about doing, like on a slower day, a Monday or a Tuesday, putting one of the Ornery Chicken sandwiches on the menu.
Okay.
Right? So we would like next Tuesday we would do the Nashville Hottie, and we would promote, we're doing the Nashville Hottie. You can get it today at Smokey D's. You can get it any day of the week at the Ornery Chicken.
Oh,
right?
okay.
And we've been trying to get this done forever.
I
think that will help our brand more than anything, because we could.
I think
we could just do another. We wouldn't do the Nashville Hottie next week. We'd do another one, and at some point, I think we'll put a chicken sandwich on the menu. But I'd rather hype up the other brand.
I could see that goat roper going big over at the restaurant.
Yeah, the cowboy, whatever you decide to name it. I hope it's not goat roper. But if you decided to, would you have like that one also be always like the day that you do? You can get the Nashville Hottie, and then would you have it where they could always get like the barbecue? It's essentially a barbecue chicken sandwich, so it would just be it would just be in the rotation.
No.
Special of the day.
We need to keep. We need to keep this simple. We need to keep this simple. You're getting you could. I mean, to me, you can either get a plain chicken sandwich on a brioche bun. Well, I don't know. See, that's the problem. You give people an inch, and they're going to take a mile. So if you say, "Here's what we do." We're doing the Nashville Hottie. Here's what it comes with. If you don't want mayo on it, that's fine. I won't serve mayo, but this is what we do. Well, I just want a plain chicken sandwich. Well, I just want a plain chicken sandwich, but I want tomato and lettuce and pickle. And hey, do you got any of that Ornery sauce? Then all of a sudden it becomes a huge, because we're not a chicken concept. We're a barbecue concept.
So
I agree.
I know
with
you want to keep
it
into simple.
That yesterday.
I know you want to keep it simple, but would you consider, instead of it being one sandwich, maybe it's 2 or 3 sandwiches, so that like you do 2 specialty sandwiches and the basic chick with like a handful of toppings, just so that more people are still getting like the Ornery Chicken, like the taste of the Ornery Chicken, but it could be more to their liking, instead of them having to maybe wait a week or them just not getting it at all and missing that opportunity. Because in my head, that if they want to try it in that moment and they can't get it, they're not going to go to the Ornery Chicken. They're just going to let it. It's just going to be a thing where they're like, okay, well, then I'm just not going to try it. Maybe not for
So
everybody.
in other words,
but
I should just put a full size ornery chicken inside the Smokey D's.
maybe not a
that's more or
full
less
size,
what
but
you're
maybe
doing.
maybe you offer more than just one sandwich. A little bit more variety, not a ton. Obviously, not that whole menu, but like maybe it's the basic chick, the home style, and the Nashville hottie. You know, like just two staples and just a little bit more variety. That's just me. I'm just pitching ideas. You don't have to listen. I'm thinking like a customer.
Well,
potentially.
I mean, I do like to listen to customers.
That is what I would be nowadays. So, in my head, if I couldn't if I couldn't deconstruct a sandwich, but I wanted to try that chicken, but I couldn't in that moment. I'm not going to remember to go to the Ornery Chicken, or it's just going to be, well, I'm going to have to go some other time, and then I just let that time never comes up, you know? It's always like that. Oh, we need to try that. But
what are you thinking, Randy? What are you thinking, Randy?
I'm thinking go back to your original idea of having one on those slow days a week, and that be it. Otherwise, as you said, you might as well open up, take a section of your restaurant and make it the Ornery Chicken, because that's what you're going to end up doing. That's just my opinion.
I don't have experience. I'm just pitching ideas. That's just how
I like to sandwich once a week, and the other thing of it is and rotate them through, and then see if any of them pick up any traction, you know, as you go through.
Right.
And make sure you tell people that these are available at the Ornery Chicken.
Yeah. They have to drive 10 minutes north.
Right. Got to drive 10 minutes more. Now open 7 days a week.
There you go.
But only curbside pickup and delivery. Don't walk in.
Just checking. Sherry, I can tell Sherry went towards I can tell the bathing suit's coming out, and me being the smart guy, I thought this morning I looked and the pool water was at 76 degrees, so I popped up the heater on. We're up to 82. I think we're in the clear.
You're a smart one. Oh, what's your hours at the Ornery Chicken?
She just walked behind me and gave me the old shut it. No, I'm not done. Why? You're thirsty? Well, here, grab something to drink. It's just a damn podcast. 99%
she knows everybody
of the people
on
are
there
listening to us. You can grab here. What do you want? You want water?
What the fuck? Hang on.
It's just a podcast, Randy. Oh, I needed this up.
Great catch. Hey, you never did answer my questions. What's your hours there at the Ornery Chicken?
We're there
11 to 7. Unless you change that.
You can order 10:30 to 7, Monday through 7 days a week.
Could I come up to the?
You can.
Could I come up
order
there and just place an order while I'm there? Go up. Is there a window that I can go
sit
and
in your car?
Hey, I want one of these cowboy chickens.
No.
It's all online.
Read
you
my
can order
lips.
in your car in the parking lot.
That's the question of the year that we're trying to figure out. We either stay with the concept and we get people to buy into the concept, or we change the concept, which changes the game. Okay, and that's where we're at. Because if I put a marquee out front and then I got to staff another person or two up front. Right? Because you got to have somebody at the front counter. And then when you walk in, now I can't fry your chicken sandwich to order, because you're not going to wait 7 minutes on your chicken sandwich. So now I need to hold fried chicken sandwiches, which I can do, have the equipment that will hold it really well. But then I get into this, now I need to build this chicken sandwiches so that you can get your order in a relatively speedy amount of time.
Right.
And then I need to buy some more track shoes. Then I need to buy some more track shoes, because I've got about 20 feet between the front area and maybe 30 feet between the front area and where the kitchen actually happens. So I'd probably have to get some of them bank teller things to put the chicken sandwich in that little tube and go and send it to the front. Or I'd have to get a train set and have the mechanical train set so you could put the chicken
Doesn't
on there
Chick-fil-A,
and deliver the train
Doesn't Chick-fil-A have like a conveyor belt? Didn't we just talk about that? You could get like a little conveyor belt.
You know, the thing about Chick-fil-A, they just happen to have a few more $1 billion.
Well, one conveyor belt can't be that much.
What's that? Funny how that works.
Right. See, so Cape Coral, their big celebration day is actually today. So they have this huge bar crawl and everything. It's about 5 miles from my house, and I'm on the fence. I could make my wife happy and go drink with a bunch of green beer with a bunch of slobbery drunks.
Right.
Or we could just lay by the pool. You know, I'm not sure.
Well, I know what I would do, and I know what I should do. And
what would you do?
What would I like to do, or what I should do?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to just give you a little bit of advice. What I would like to do is I'd like to lay by the pool and just hang out and chill. You had a long day of flights yesterday, blah, blah, blah. But what you should do, and you better go to the bar crawl.
Well, she's 100% not expecting me to go to the bar crawl. She hinted a little bit, whatever, but she
why don't you just surprise her?
Yeah, surprise her for once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't have to drink. They aren't going to shove it down your throat.
No, yeah, Uber's going to cost you a small fortune, but
Uber's going to cost a small fortune.
You don't have to get drunk.
But it's for your bride. Who gives a shit? It's for Sherry, so do it, you dick.
You could do a green beer and then a water, and then a green beer and then a water. Pace yourself.
No, that tastes
It's
good.
a marathon, not a sprint.
I can do that. I can do that, but if I don't care if I have 15 waters and 2 beers. If I've had 2 beers, I'm not driving.
Right.
You sound like me.
I mean, I weigh 300 pounds, and I could probably take 6 or 7 beers and whatever.
Uber is extremely expensive.
What
they raise the rates on days like this?
Yeah, well, and it depends on the number of drivers and capacity. It cost me $40 to get from a venue in Waukee to a bar a mile and a half away one day in Waukee, Iowa, on just a random Saturday. So I couldn't imagine St. Patrick's Day in Cape Coral.
Or I could go to my neighbor over here. The happy hour starts at 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon and say, "Hey, it's noon. You go drop us off at the bar and come get us later, and I'll give you $100. It'd probably be cheaper."
Probably.
There you go. I'm glad you're thinking about going to the bar. You're levitating that direction.
Do something fun. Take Sherry out.
And the reason I was thinking about it is because the clouds are starting to move in a little bit here.
Oh, fuck.
It's going to get chilly.
And there's nothing worse than standing out in the sun in the bar.
I'm not doing anything for St. Patrick's Day. I have not done anything for St. Patrick's Day.
I peaked yesterday,
I'm sit at home.
I have never celebrated St. Patrick's Day in my life.
The only time I really
actually, that's not true. There was one year.
On St. Patrick's Day.
One year I used to go and have corned beef and cabbage, and that was about it.
Actually, I think the only year I've really celebrated St. Patrick's Day was 2020, and we were in Puerto Rico, and we had to fly home like the next day because everything got shut down. But we celebrated St. Patrick's Day down there a couple years ago. That was, I think, the only time I've ever celebrated.
Yeah, St. Patrick's Day is in 2020 is when the governor came. She didn't personally come in, but at noon they shut down at 8 o'clock in the morning on St. Patrick's Day, the 17th of March, 2020. They came in and announced that we had to go to carry out only operations starting at noon, and that was like at 10 o'clock in the morning. They announced
no shit.
And they're like, everybody looked at me and went, "What do we do?" And I walked over to the line and I took all the baskets that we used and the plates that we used for dine-in, I took them to the back and I showed up with to-go containers and I said, carry on. And they're like, oh, wow, that was pretty easy.
Boom.
There you go.
And went to everybody and said, hey, they said we could only do carry out. Crazy times.
Yep.
Talk about overcoming diversity.
Diversity, not adversity.
Oh, that was adversity.
It's adversity.
Sorry. Adversity.
It's adversity.
Adversity.
I know.
Randy still can't tell
just
the
had to get that in.
difference.
I know. It's a lot up here.
Or there's not much up there.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, for not having anything to talk about when we first started this about an hour ago, we sure had a lot to talk about.
Minutes.
Now we're babbling. Now I got to make a decision.
All right.
What do I do?
Let us know.
He's going to the bars.
Okay.
Anyway,
You better
that
until
was...
next
All right.
Yeah. Follow us on social
We're
media,
outta
guys. Randy, I gotta say my closing. Give me a
Randy,
second.
that was a premature. That was premature,
okay.
Randy.
God,
Okay,
how many times have we
alright.
done this? Follow us
Okay,
on
come on,
social
do your
media
Andy.
at Cue the Mic Pod. We're at Cue the Mic Pod on Facebook, Twitter, X, TikTok, Threads, and we are at Cue the Mic Podcast on YouTube. Go subscribe and like our videos on there. And that's it. There you go. Now you can do your
Boom.
little ending.
Finished. Adios.
Oh, boom. We're out. See you.
Out.
Okay, we'll see you guys next week.
Bye.